Okay, are there going to be enemies here, or is this purely just puzzle territory? Because if there are enemies here, then that makes it a lot more difficult to think about how to set this up. Whereas if we have the time to sit and ponder, then that makes things a lot easier. Because what I'm assuming is the idea is to move all those mirrors around such that we have multiple beams directed at what I assume is the Sunstone there in the middle. Looks like there is already one of them, but maybe, before we even do that, let's try doing some more looting. Yeah, and this music is also at least a little bit different, a variation on ones that we've heard before, which is interesting, because I like, it makes it feel more special. It makes it feel like, you're about to do something big here, which, we're about to find a powerful elven artifact that allows us to more effectively fend off the wild hunt, then that's a big deal, Should be making a bit of a fuss out of that. Okay, this is well lit enough that maybe we don't need to worry too much about throwing on our cat potion here. But at least for right now, like I said, I'm going to focus on trying to get the loot first. Then, after that, I'm going to focus on the actual puzzle. And we'll also perhaps get a better sense as to whether we're going to find any enemies here, which, at least at the moment, it isn't looking like it. But I would not necessarily say that that is going to be the case here long term. I could certainly imagine this being a place where initially there aren't any enemies, and then as soon as we take the Sunstone, we alert them to our presence, and we get swarmed. I could absolutely see that happening. Okay. It does make it hard to find chests when all these stalagmites are glowing like this. Because could be some hiding behind them that I'm not really seeing because of the glow. That... Oh, those are also stalagmites, but that's definitely a chest over there. Snap this. Ooh, okay. That is a sword name that I recognize from The Witcher 2, and I think we've seen it several times in Witcher 3 as well. Level is low, so the base damage is not good. It does have a little bit of crit stuff going on, but this is probably going to be something that we either sell or break down. But it should be worth something. So that's nice, at least. Okay. Anything else hiding on this side? And I've definitely got a little disoriented here because I kind of just saw that chest and ran over to it. Oh, yep. Like I said, music is different here. I like it. Adding in the vocals just gives it more intensity, Okay. Don't think we've tried this corner yet. I think I see a chest back there. Yeah, I do. And hide that from me. That's the one we just got. Ooh, enemy. Another ghost. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're gonna occasionally run into some of these guys. You just ignored the Igni. You did not care at all. And then, yeah, like the Wild Hunt we've fought in the past, definitely some stagger. You did for a second there. Oh. Okay, it actually... Huh. It does give us... I didn't even realize this. I was not even paying any attention at all to the specific things we were supposed to hit. But it does give us actual quest markers for these mirrors. So I was not making a committed effort to head over here, but I think we've looted, I mean, maybe not everything down below, but hopefully at least most of it. Also, let's just take a look at what these mirrors look like, because I'm curious, and try not to fall off the edge as we do that. This will be close enough, I guess. It has some nice, like, fire-ish almost looking stuff. Okay, so, like I said, I think to set up the mirror system properly, so we didn't really get any context as to how we're supposed to set it up, per se, and it's going to be hard to tell when we have only one mirror at a time. Because, like, this one, as it currently stands, is receiving the reflection, or receiving the light from that mirror, and directing it over to that mirror up there, which seems fine. That seems like something that we would want. But does this one need to go, like, directly to the actual stone? Can we do that? Because it looks like there's only two options here. We can either do this, which doesn't look like it's doing much at all, or we can do what we just had, which sends the light from one mirror to another mirror, and I'm assuming that is what we want. So that's strange, because I'm pretty sure that's the starting position. But maybe that's just, you know, not the best mirror to be started off with. Maybe the other ones are more so ones that you'll want to change. And some of them you actually do keep the way they started. But anyways. Again, hard to tell what is rubble, what is actually a chest, if anything. So it does eventually fade away if you're patient about it. That helps a bit. That's something? No? That's another way to gauge if we've been in an area. It's definitely something up there. Looks like it. You know, if the stalagmites have been broken, then that suggests that we have already explored that spot. If they're not, then that suggests that we haven't. Okay. Ooh, get up there? I would think we can. Though perhaps we were not technically doing it the right way, so to speak. There we go. Okay, so this one is receiving... Whoa. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be... And I caught what you were saying there. That's Tirnalia. She is the Wild Hunt city that we are in not long ago. So in case there were any questions as to whether that was actually a Wild Hunt ghost or not, well, that does perhaps answer some of those questions, in addition to, you know, the potion being named Tirnalia potion and Wild Hunt Warrior Sword being the weapons that we're looting off them. But yeah, I think we're going to find that basically at every one of these mirrors, we're going to have one ghost to fight. We just kind of went up in an unconventional route that time. So, let's see. This one is doing a bazillion things. This is one that I feel like, you know, actually, can we affect it differently if we use it from this side or this side? I think we're only pulling the lever. It's not like we're manually just putting our arms around it and yanking it over to one side. So yeah, this one, I'm curious to see what moving this does to affect all those reflections. Because this would have a pretty significant effect, I would think. Yeah, because now it was previously moving the light from one of the mirrors to another mirror. And now it looks like it's just going straight up to the Sunstone. Huh. So I would think that means that this is where we want it to be, but if we're just trying to maximize the number of things that the light touches, then the way it was previously is probably best. So again, not entirely sure at this stage what the quote-unquote correct answer is, but it might even be easiest. We just look from... nope. I just want to get a look from, like, the middle / up high to see where all the beams are coming from and where they're going to get a better sense of what we're supposed to do with them, because I feel like it'd be a lot easier to make none of the beams touch the stone in the middle, which is directly above our head. But I'm not... I mean, it seems like that's the opposite of what we're supposed to do here. I also feel like we should probably... Oh. Okay, this is interesting. So this one has a circle around it. These two don't have an extra circle. I was going to say, it was going to perhaps be relatively easy to accidentally forget one. You know, like, forget which ones we've already done and which one we've not yet done. Is this the one that we just went to? I mean, I feel like it might be. At the same time, this one, at least from that angle, looked like it wasn't doing anything at all. Yeah, we broke that stuff. Hold on. But we weren't necessarily sure if this was right. Yeah, now, okay. After redirecting those mirrors, this is doing nothing right now. And I don't think it's going to do anything, even if we change this, because there's just nothing headed in this direction right now. Okay, so that means, presumably we need something to happen here, yes. But nothing is going to happen there when there's no light headed in that direction, so, again, keeping track of the mirrors is really the problem. Like, being in this perspective, I think is the hardest thing about this, is like seeing this from a bird's eye view and being able to look at all the mirrors simultaneously and see what they change would be vastly easier. It's like this, I think, is the one that we've not yet done. So I think what we do is, yeah, we now are hitting that mirror over there with this light. Now let's go back to the mirror where we just were and see what we can do with this. So it was doing nothing before, but now that it has light, it is more significant, and we can actually tell what we might be able to do with it. So if we move you, this might be our answer. That it is. Okay, you found it, you say. Sure. Was it the actual light in the middle there? Or did that just, like, unlock a door that allows you to take the Sunstone that was, you know, hidden behind some magical barrier previously? Or something along those lines. That was a nifty vault there, Geralt. Also, where are you? Up there? What was that? That's just... Oh, hold on. That's 13. 28. Oh, man. Tons of florins. That's even more? Hold on. I know we can... There we go. Look at that. We're rich. I almost missed that stuff. Okay. So, Philippa is up there, I think. Yes. Is this the stone we're looking for? Sure that's the kind of thing that's safe to just pick up like that? Okay, so here's the part where Philippa goes all corrupt and is like, no, it's mine now, and I'm going to use this power to destroy you.
Let me guess. You gotta fly. You're about to tell me why you need the Sunstone so much more than we do.
Yep.
Then you'll change into an owl and whoosh.
Exactly.
No idea where you got such a ridiculous notion.
No, it's not like you do this all the time.
Safety is most important to me now.
That's absolutely
But
false.
I wish to talk to you about the future. My future.
Right, because now you have all the power because you're holding the artifact that we need. Alright. Let's see. So, this is interesting. We can insist on saying, it's okay, you should trust the Emperor, you'll be fine, he has said that he is going to spare the sorceresses. That's this bottom option here. Or we can say, you know, this Emperor guy, he says he's going to help you out, but I'm not sure I trust him, so might be best if you just scram. And it really seemed like Philippa was saying that her preference would be this top one here. Basically, forget about the Emperor and just escape. But then again, this would be more so the thing that the other sorcerers, at least on the surface level, appear to be doing, putting at least some level of trust in the Emperor to bail them out. That being said, the Emperor is not exactly the most trustworthy guy either. He certainly would be the type of person to turn around and backstab them as soon as he gets what he needs out of the sorceresses. So, to try to encourage Philippa to trust the Emperor is maybe not the best idea for that reason. So, but that's a tough one. I mean, really the question here is, I guess two questions, is how much do we feel like we want to reinforce what seemed to already be Philippa's preference versus try to convince her otherwise? And second question, how much do we want to encourage Philippa to, or how much do we trust the Emperor versus not trust the Emperor? So, those are loaded questions. Loaded questions indeed. How much do we trust the Emperor? I mean, yeah, I don't trust him fully. Do I trust him to at least give the sorceresses, or follow up on his word to protect the sorceresses? That's a tough question. That's a very tough question, actually. Because, yeah, basically I do expect at some point the Emperor is going to do something to try to get something back from the sorceresses. Is that going to be him not actually following up on his promise? Is it going to be him expecting some other type of compensation from the sorceresses for him helping them out? I don't know. Then I guess if we're trying to think of it more from specifically our perspective, do we get any additional benefit from having Philippa hanging out with the Emperor versus Philippa being a recluse? And I feel like, well, it's a bit of a loaded question. Philippa is a very powerful sorceress, so in some ways we'd like for her to be someone that we could readily talk to and meet with and have help us in dire situations, like facing the Wild Hunt. Whereas if she runs off and turns into an owl and is never seen nor heard from again, then we're potentially missing out on a strong ally. So I think I'm conflicted. You know, for all those reasons, I can see an argument for either of these things, but I think, technically speaking, if we're looking purely for trying to find what could be the most beneficial for Geralt and Ciri, then I think that maybe going with trying to get her to stick with the Emperor and not disappearing off the face of the earth is probably preferable. That's also assuming that she doesn't go on a killing spree and try to, you know, assassinate every king again. So, again, with Philippa in particular, it's a really hard question, but I'll go for this.
Wouldn't worry. Emperor's got plans for you, I'm sure.
Stop playing the jester and listen to me.
And, you know, then Geralt could
Once we've
make that a
defeated
sarcastic
the
comment.
Ciri is safe. Yennefer's meteoric rise at the Imperial Court will come to an abrupt end, which is wonderful from my perspective.
Ooh,
I'm not interested in reviving the Lodge if I'm not to have the deciding vote.
of course you aren't.
You're telling me this because...
If I know even one bit, I expect that once we've defeated the Wild Hunt, you aim to slip out the back door with Ciri. To disappear into the wilds, correct? All very
Maybe.
romantic. But perhaps instead of destroying the girl's life, you could take Yennefer with you and go.
Oh, you're just saying you don't want to be competing with Yennefer for power. Basically, you're saying, as things currently stand, Yennefer is in line to be the most powerful sorceress once the Wild Hunt are taken care of, and you want that to be you, not her. So if we run off with Ciri and Yennefer is not in the picture, that gives you the opportunity to step up and be the most powerful sorceress, so you can go back to doing your crazy politics type of stuff that we saw you doing in The Witcher 2, and, you know, chaos will ensue. You want to take Yen's place beside Emir. Yeah, that does kind of sound like what she's implying, at least to a certain extent. Not sure if it necessarily means being Emir's advisor. It probably does, but more so all the other benefits that go along with that.
You want to take...
And she's going to deny this.
Emir's side.
And at Ciri's.
Oh, okay.
I think you understand it's inevitable, and I would truly prefer Yennefer to be far away when it happens. Holding her in the Imperial dungeon would be costly, and it would give the wrong impression.
Alright. Don't know if you're teasing us with that last part there, or if you're actually honestly saying that you would go as far as to throw Yennefer in jail so that you could take power. Because for anyone else, you'd say, nah, that's a pretty bold strategy there. But this is Philippa we're talking to. She would absolutely do that. But, well, hopefully it doesn't come down to that. So, let's see if we can go.
Any other words of wisdom, or can we go?
You may go. I know you've things to do. I can find my own way back.
Oh. She did give us the stone before she ran off, or flew off, as the owl, right? I hope. Okay. And I believe we now have the Sunstone in that case. And we'll just see where that leaves us with these other quests here. A little bit of experience, not bad. And so that means, yes, we can now go to Child of the Elder Blood, which is the one we were saying we might want to do previously. And then battle preparations. Yeah, so we've picked up Frangilla Vigo, gotten the Sunstone. We've chatted with Avallac'h. I don't remember that that was one of the things on our list, but sure, we've done that. So yeah, now the big thing is finding Avallac'h's laboratory and, well, getting ourselves out of this dungeon, which I think we're close to doing. This may even be the spot where we... Well, I don't know. Hold on. I think we're going to still run into a few more of those ghosts. And I think this is, yeah, going to be the spot where we initially were, or where we previously were. These ghosts are higher level. There are several of them in the same spot. Yeah, this is the type of situation we found ourselves in previously. Oh my god, I stepped away. That is the opposite direction from the one that I wanted to go in. But yeah, this, I think, is the place where we found ourselves previously. Or up there will be... Oh no, we're back to the drums going crazy again. Okay, I do also want to make sure that if there is additional loot down here, then we get it, because chances of us ever coming back down here, quite low. Next to none. Like, that's where we came up from, right? Yeah? Okay. It's not some hidden little passageway that might have some sweet, sweet loot in it. Also, yeah, that's blood from the ghost, which is a little bit strange. What do we have up here? I think we're still going to find several more ghosts. Then we're going to find a few rooms that have looted chests in them. Boots? Question mark? So let's axie the stalagmites. That sounds like a great idea. What is... Oh, for a second I thought that was some kind of rune there, because that was kind of shining. That stone there. Okay, hold on. Radovid the Stern. Have we read this? Radovid the Stern, the hard slog to greatness. Which brings us to the epithet of the current ruler of Redania, the Stern. Allow me to diagnose the causes and consequences of this appellation. Firstly, the seeds of Radovid's sternness were surely planted in his childhood. When Radovid was born to King Vizimir and Queen Hedwig in 1255, his care was immediately entrusted to the one and only Philippa Eilhart, the court sorceress. While none dared question if she was fit for the role of tutor, you now envisage her as having been a warm caregiver to a young child, and whatever harsh lessons she gave Radovid clearly left a lasting mark. The next step on Radovid's path to becoming the Stern? The death of his father when Radovid was but 13 years of age. Though rumor has it father and son barely knew one another, the mere fact of being thrust into one's inheritance at such an early age, and in such murky circumstances, must have had a hardening effect. Finally, the Regency finished schooling Radovid toward becoming the Stern. Led by Sigismund Dijkstra of Tredegor, the Regency Council imparted upon Radovid a style of politics seeped in Dijkstra's aggressive, no-holds-barred, reason of state-first principles. We didn't actually have a great sense as to how directly Siggy was involved in that process. I mean, obviously they knew each other because Siggy talked about that a lot. But I didn't realize he had a mentor-like role similar to how Philippa did. such are the causes of Radovid's temperament. Now, onto the consequences. Also, funny that, Dijkstra had such issues with both Dijkstra and Philippa had significant quarrels with Radovid after they were perhaps the two that shaped him the most. But anyways, such are the causes of Radovid's temperament. Now onto the consequences. Most manifestations of his fierce manner are well known. However, a few illustrative examples might prove useful here. They include his summoning of the Order of the Flaming Rose to be his armed enforcers. Yeah, that was interesting to see that happen at the beginning of Witcher 2, especially given everything that happened in The Witcher 1, although I've actually been quite surprised to see that have we seen anything at all from the Order of the Flaming Rose in Witcher 3? I mean, we have some quote-unquote fallen knights that we ran into previously ever so briefly, that we might see more of as we start going into DLC territory, because I think that's where we ran into them. But, I mean, that perhaps implies Order of the Flaming Rose, although maybe not explicitly. So, I don't know. It just seems odd, because, I mean, certainly in The Witcher 1, they were such a huge factor. Witcher 2, they made a cameo appearance, but his later support for witch hunters in their zealous cause, and finally, there is the massacre at Loch Moin. Yeah, Radovid was mostly victim at Loch Moin, not so much perpetrator, or at least that's, from what I can remember about it, was the case. Yet it is in the fight against Nilfgaard that Radovid has proven himself truly the stern. While the forces of other realms disintegrated in the face of the Empire's onslaught, he has strengthened his own realm and taken command of the joint armies of the North. Are they really the joint armies, though, or is it just that everyone else has, fizzled out and been defeated, and Redania is the only army left? So I didn't really get the sense, just based on people like Roach, that there's a whole lot of teaming up going on with the Northern Realms right now. Whatever their opinion of him before, all clear-eyed observers now agree. Radovid V, known as Radovid the Stern, is the North's last bulwark against Emir's expanding power. So, that was one of the key reasons why I was reluctant to kill him, was because I felt as if there was perhaps significant risk that killing Radovid would mean that the North would have a lack of leadership and would just crumble under that lack of leadership, and as soon as Nilfgaard starts applying additional pressure, sending in additional forces and advancing those forces, then they would just fall apart. And then Dijkstra tried to basically do a coup d'etat, and that I didn't like, because I might have been okay with it. Then he basically threatened to kill Roach, and then I was like, alright, you have crossed the line, buddy. Nobody touches Roach. And now there's no king, or at least the original king is dead. The person who wanted to succeed the king is dead. So I really don't know where that leaves us, and does make me fairly concerned. I thought there'd be a chest down here. Ah, another round of our price-checking boots. Don't know if the level will be the same, so the value might be a little bit different, but yeah, so we're definitely supposed to go up, but that just means, down below we might find additional good loot. You gotta check. You just gotta check. Okay, but eventually, yeah, we're gonna turn into a wall. Oh, although the area is bigger than I thought it would be. Thought I saw a little bit of the glowy stuffs over here. Yeah, oh, yup. I was gonna say, I know there was definitely at least one set of herbs, but chest as well. Not amazing stuff, but we got it. Can't sneak it past us. Okay, and I'm expecting another round of ghosts imminently. Can we actually go with that? No, we can't. We really don't need these mushrooms, but okay. Also, knowing me, I feel like, I'm gonna try jumping off one of these and just fail miserably and fall to our death. And then we're gonna have to reload a save from a while ago and be like, well, sorry guys, my bad. I pressed the wrong button, because I derped. This is the spot. Because there were ghosts here previously. And now there aren't. So this is where we fought them. And this chest looks like there was loot in it, but then the game remembered, oh no, hold on a second. Vids is already taken from that chest because we've been here before. Yes, okay. So this is the place that I kept on babbling on about, thinking, well, this is probably where we were in previously. Right. And there were several of the ghosts here. So this was actually, I think, the highest level ghost and possibly even the highest, or the most numerous of them as well. And that was the part that we did early when we were really under-leveled. Now we just stroll on through. Does also probably mean that, you know, all this stuff is looted. Any lasting ghosts at all? Anyone that, you know, like respawns or something? Wouldn't necessarily rule it out. Was it though? Was it though? Hold on. Now I'm getting confused. Are we doubling back here? Or is this technically where we're supposed to go? Was the entrance really this far down? I didn't think it was. But it doesn't look like we've been here. Huh. There are chests here. So we'll check it out. We will explore it. Okay. And with the sweet vaults there, Geralt. That was supposed to be an art, actually. Ooh, several of them at that. Is that one as well? Or is that just... Okay, apparently we broke our ankles. 4 chests, one of which is... No, they're all of them are looted. What? Have we been down here before? I didn't recognize this place. I didn't think. But, oh, you know what? Did we come down this way? We probably entered from here. I bet we entered from here. Yeah. That's what happened. We went in through this way, and this is the actual exit. Okay. And it will lead us out, but it'll lead us out a little bit further south than I remembered. And we should absolutely deactivate this cat potion. Otherwise, we are going to go blind as we look into this snow. I think did we get rid of Golden Oriole, or do we actually still have it equipped right now? We might. Or rather, White Honey. We do. Okay, and Golden Oriole. This is what we want. We want to cancel potion effects so that we can use our eyeballs again. Okay. And so now, let's just see what is technically, I mean, Rogn, or however you actually say this place, is definitely the closest spot to us, fast travel location-wise. And then we're looking to, head over to this area that we came across when we were searching the 7 Seas of Skellige. We found this fast travel spot over here, and there was a cave system, and I was thinking about going in it, but you guys might have been saying, oh, please don't do that yet. And we were waiting the chance to go back over here. This was actually one of the places that I thought might have been where we were ultimately going to find Ciri. Then obviously it turned out that was just around Unvik more directly. But okay, so first things first, let's actually, make it here. Then we can fast travel over there and see what the big deal is all about. Yeah, but this is actually quite close to this village. I did not realize it was that close. So my memory was that the entrance to that cave system was deep in the mountains. And I think that was probably just the angle from which we approached it, was we perhaps approached it from the most difficult possible angle. Okay. And I vaguely remember that there may not actually be any shopkeepers in this village. I thought we ran through here and did not have anyone to sell things to. And also there's so many guards here that I don't think we're ever going to loot this stuff. So yeah, I think what we do in that case is we are going to fast travel here, but we're not going to go straight over to the main quest. We're just going to take a quick trip over maybe to here. Because this is where we'll actually find a weaponsmith to sell. Ooh, okay. To sell stuff too. Hold on. So down this staircase, there's so many staircases around here. They get rather confusing. No, I think it's over here on this side. Yeah, these guys. So let's sell to these dudes.
So you're back. Was right, wasn't I?
Don't remember what you may or may not have been right about, but big thing here is, oh, hold on, what is that chest plate? It looks like it's relic rarity, and it looks like it has different colors, different design than what we normally see. It's Unvik armor, which is cool. Only level 16, so not great in that regard. It's heavy armor, which is also not a great fit for us. I mean, I kind of want to see what it looks like, but at the same time, I don't want to spend 1,000 crowns for it. Yeah, they have a full Unvik set, I suspect. Got the boots. And what is there anything particularly distinctive about it? I mean, lots of resistances, but you get that with any heavy armor. Don't know if there's like a specific type of thing that you get more of out of these than other types of armor. I'm mostly just curious about the aesthetics of it, to be honest. Huh. Oh, we actually are using Unvik Force Blinders. Oh no, they're just the same as Arcanian. Unvik Saddle. Marginally worse than his Arcanian Saddle. Saddle bags. Also the same, but I think they seem like they probably look better. Oh, hold on. We missed these. Some treasure hunts. Okay, I missed those. And Moldy Notes by Euronymous on the Witcher Elgar. Let's pick those up, and that might actually be the thing that we do next in that case. Because, you know, if ever we were going to be approaching a point of no return, I think we're probably getting close now. This is what the Unvik trousers look like. Okay. But original reason why I came here was to sell you some stuff. I mean, the saddle, you guys are saying it's actually the tavern keepers that will pay the most for this, but we'll just dump it here because for convenience sake, that'd be rather nice. Main reason why we're here is because we have a lot of armor and weapons to sell. And I think for the armor, we'll definitely just sell it. That much is true. But for the weapons, there's a chance that we might actually want to break down to components. Let's see. Is this our price-checking pair of boots? Or is it this? They have a slightly different price. This one's level 32, so it is technically better. Do you think this was actually our official price-checking pair of boots, even if they're technically the same kind? The only difference is the level. I think we might actually sell these though. If we are gonna keep around a pair of these boots for price-checking purposes, then we might as well have it be a decent pair of boots, right? So let's dump this. And I would like to keep one of these in armors, just in case we ever find ourselves wanting to have that big resistance to poisoning. Again, with the potions, that perhaps is not necessary, but it's kind of a nifty option. I like stockpiling that stuff and giving ourselves that option to go that route if we want to. Now, one of these is slightly better than the other, right? This has a little bit better armor, so let's sell you instead. And then I'm curious to see, if we try breaking down some of this other stuff, what it might break down into, because that might be better than selling, although pretty valuable stuff here. And this guy is not going to be able to afford all that. So that might be reason enough to try to dismantle at least a bit. So our general rule of thumb is that if we get a full gemstone out of it, we'll take the breaking things down, and we get a full amethyst out of this, as we do with that one. It's the same type of sword, so that makes sense. And this we just get dust. And then that we should probably sell if we're only getting full ring silver out of it. Diamond and glowing ore is kind of tough to get. Whoa, this is really valuable though. That's a lot of crit damage. Yeah, for just a master item, it's pretty low rarity, but it's actually more valuable than some of our relic swords? That's strange. Okay, we don't do anything with that. That's cross sword. Then that's not really special. That's not that special. But that's not so surprising, given how those are our lower rarity stuffs. Yeah, okay. So in that case, let's definitely sell the lower rarity stuff. I just want to double check. How much are these swords worth if we sell them? These ones here, they're worth like 530. But, you know, this guy's only going to be able to afford one of them. This one was surprisingly valuable, or at least it said it was surprisingly valuable on the other page, but then if we look at how much they'll actually buy it for, it's a little bit less. So it did break down into some decent stuff. So let's break this down. And this down as well. And now they have 1,400, which is decent. Maybe we break this down as well, and then at that point, we should be able to sell everything else other than Croc's sword, and then we'll have a combination of good crafting materials, and hopefully on net, we still made some money after everything's said and done. Yeah, this is worth a bit. That's not worth quite as much. That stays. And all this stuff goes as well. And actually, they might not be able to afford all this. It's going to be kind of close. Looks like they will, though. This stuff starts to get cheaper. Alright, and tell you the truth, that's a pretty good fit, I'd say. Got a nice mix and match of breaking stuff down into components and selling some stuff, and I think on net, we definitely still made a profit, because this guy started off with a few thousand coins, and right now he only has 258, so yeah. Not to mention, we got a couple treasure hunts that I'm curious to see if we happen to come across those areas by ourselves.
So long.
And maybe these are going to say complete,